Bava, basra, daf kuf nun hey amud aleph. I'm going to go a little chazara from yesterday. Yesterday we said that Rabbi Yochanan said l'divi hakel. Everybody holds that Moed b'shtasha kasrei. The halacha is that einay tzarich l'kaimai. The Gemara has the shaila that we see that Rabbi Yochanan holds tzarich l'kaimai. Where do we see? And I'm going straight to the kasha where it mentions Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Yanai had said Moed b'shtasha kasrei tzarich l'kaimai, and Rabbi Yochanan says you don't have to say it in the name of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. It's a Mishnah. Mishnah says that Moed b'shtasha kasrei. The halach is tzarich l'kaimai. Where do we see that? With the Shchimera was Meida, that the star was written, and he's believed to say he was a Shchimera. So obviously you have to be Mekayim to counteract what he says. And what kind of a raya are we talking about? Over there it says, the Chachamim say, and Rabbi Yochanan says, what is the raya? Only Bekim Ashtar. So remember that prat, raya means Bekim Ashtar. How do we answer Rabbi Yochanan who said before the divi hakel ain't tzarich l'kaimai? So we said we it seems like we follow Rabbeinu Yosef. Rabbeinu Yosef said beferish that what does it mean l'divi hakel? It means l'divi chachamim. The chacham are the ones that say Moed b'shtasha kasrei tzarich l'kaimai ain't tzarich l'kaimai. And Meir was the one that said Moed b'shtasha kasrei tzarich l'kaimai. So that's what he meant l'divi hakel. So, but with Peil Mamish, let's go back to the prat that we said. What does it mean raya when it says Hametz Mechaber all about raya? What did Rabbi Yochanan say? Raya be'edim. For Exich l'Shaila, we had a kasha by the story with Bnei Brak, where one of the brothers sold the father's karka, right? And the Bnei Mishpacha said, "Hey, are you talking? He was a cotton. It's not a sale." So the Gemara says, so Rabbi Yochanan asked Shlakish, it doesn't make sense. He says, if you say like me, he says, if you say, the Rabbi Yochanan says like me, that I say, what does it mean, Raya be'edim, that you have to bring a Raya be'edim. So since the Lekuches were supposed to, they said to the Lekuches, bring edim, that he was a cotton, and you didn't find edim, that's why they came to Rabbi Akiva, and they said, "Let's dig out. We want to dig out the grave to check if he was a cotton or not with the silence." But according to you, Reish Lakish, that you say Raya means Raya be'edim. So why do they have to dig out? Just let them bring Raya be'edim. That's a kiyum ashtar. It's a good start. But now Rabbi Yochanan is the one that says it's Raya be'edim. How are you going to interpret this whole kasha? And so says you want to let us say it wasn't Rabbi Yochanan asking Reish Lakish, it was Reish Lakish asking on Rabbi Yochanan. Says you want to loy. No, it was Taka Rabbi Yochanan asking Reish Lakish, but it was a different kasha. And now we're starting Hachi Kama Lei on Kufnun Hey Amral. This is how the kasha went. Rabbi Yochanan said Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan said according to Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Bishlan Lididi. It's understood, Rabbi Yochanan says, according to me, that I say, what does it mean, Raya? In verifying the star. Now we understand why the Lekuches are sitting on the karka, because they had a star. And according to Rabbi Yochanan, that's what everybody holds. So that makes sense why they're sitting, they're muhzakim in the karka based on the star. Because we don't need any edus, because minastam this the star is good. Is that key? But according to you, that Lekuches still have to bring a Raya be'edim, that he was a gadol. How could Lekuches be sitting in the Nechasim if they didn't yet bring edim that he was a gadol? Amalei, so Yishlak said to Rabbi Yochanan, I'm agreeing with you that the Bnei Mishpacha, when they're arguing that he was a cotton, is a shvachetine. My comedy, what would they say? Cotton? That is a cotton, because it's nobody writes. You know when he says over here, like he brings down from the Rashbam, when the Meicha, the Lekeh, and the Malva and the Leiva all are there, They make sure everybody's gedolim there. They're not going to be dealing with Ketanim. They want it to be a real star, It's chazak eina edem chisma lashar in keinas ayidei gadol. We know it's a chazak for sure what is done with a gadol. So the Ishlaki says for sure the star is a good star. So that's, and I agree with you. The lekuchs have a right to be in the karka, and not the bnei mishpacha. But where do I differ with you? By the case of the Shchimera, he says in our Mishnah, the one that gave the matana, he was a Shchimera. So that there's nothing wrong with saying with a Shchimera. He wrote a Shchimera could write a star matana, and then he could recover. It's possible that he recovered, and that's why he has a good taina that I recovered and went back to matana. He's matana. So he says that could make sense. That's where I differ with you with Rabbi Yochanan. He says when they get attack in the case in Bnei Brak, I agree with you that the lekuchas have a right to the nechasim. It's out the star, and you can't find maybe they were ketanim. That doesn't jive with me either. Okay, agreeable that who are the machzakim, the lekuchis, and the bnei mishpach have mashpach taina. But when it comes to a shchimera being made that the star was written, he ketaina, even though it didn't say in the star shchimera, but he ketaina. I was a shchimera. It's not soisa to the star. Oh, so Rabbi Yochanan argues, no, you don't have to be Mekayim the star. So now he wants to say Apesha Asu Apeshita. There's no Apesha Asu Apeshita, because without his Haidah, there was a star. So without his Haidah, there was a star. Now he wants to say, believe me, because I was a Shchimera, because I made the star for a star. So Rabbi Yochanan, you didn't make the star for a star, because made the star Shekas Ein Sarul L'Kaimei. But the Shlaki says no. You have to have edim that you were shchimera. So that's different. Okay, that's machas. We said a cotton cannot sell the nichsei of the father. So from what age is he allowed to sell? So now, when it comes to metaltalim, he's allowed to sell even from a young age, 6, 7, because you have these little kids selling canteen in the yeshiva. Candy, soda. Yeah, whole sukkahs they were selling. Oh, there you go. Little kids were selling over here on the street. That they can sell. They're allowed, and the sale is a sale.
They make money.
And they make money. But by karka, that's the first thing. It's small money. You can see the profits. By karka, they don't understand. You just wave a couple of dollars, $5. Oh, give me this piece of property. Oh, $5. Mechap the $5. Probably the hazen. So therefore, when it comes to the karka,
Now you have the old Torah case. Are you familiar with it?
No.
It's about. Report.
Okay, later.
You guys know what you're doing.
Oh, so he says the little kids don't know what they're doing when it comes to karka. So what age? He says the Gemara when he's 18 years old. Rav Nachman says the name of Rav Nachman. He has to be 20 years. The Rava that says 18 years. We didn't find that he says mamish 18 anyway. He said a story, and they that's what he meant. The famous story that one of the brothers sold the father's property.
But you don't talk about a cotton here.
Oh no! So but Mace and he died. But this is a cotton. This is the same story. The same story. Yeah, he wants to say no mechira because the name Mishpach came to argue that at the time of the sale it was a cotton. And they came to Rabbi Akiva. What's the din? To let's dig out the mace and see. And he died. The one that the cotton died. He said, Rabbi Akiva says, you're not allowed to degrade a mace. That's disgusting. Right? What are you going to gain? The mace, even though there's simanim, lav davka, it's not a vada that those were the same simanim in his lifetime. It could have changed. It's understood according to the Mandama that says Shona that he has to be 18 years of age. I know the cause. This is the reason that the Kraven came before Rabbi Akiva. What is Benegeya to check the goof of the Meicha? Surely the Meicha was 18 or more, that's for sure. That's not, we're not questioning that.
Could be 20 years.
Because if Benegeya to find out the age of 18 or 20, you don't have to dig out the mace, you can find out the facts, how old he was. We want to know if he was an adult 18 or a baby 18. Because sometimes you have even the older guys that are still babies, there's nothing vaccine. So here we had to see if he had the situs. That's the only shaila, says the Rashba. But again, to the age, there was no shaila about
He
it.
was 18.
Because that you can figure out. If that was just the age, you can figure out. He's talking
He
about.
wasn't a businessman.
Yeah. But no, so we only have to find out this if he had situs to make him an adult 18. But if you're going to say he was 20, what will it help that you check? But now we learned in the Mishnah ben esim shaloi hevi shtei saris. Even a 20-year-old, even if he didn't bring two siders, yaviu re'aya shu ben esim who saris. All he has to do is bring a raya that he's 20 and he's a saris, even without siders. It's nicht only in siders. Then the halacha is loy chelitz v'lem yavim. There's no chalitz and there's no yivim. The mashal. He's saying if the brother died without children, and and now he's the live brother, but he's a sadis. So it says in the Torah, and the Gemara brings down, if he's not shaykh to yivum, what's the whole meaning of yivum? That there should be children and continue the name of the brother. But if he cannot do it, so there's no need for chalitza. That's what the Gemara says. Kol she'eina oila leyibum, eina oila lechalitza. That's what the Gemara says in Yavamis. So over there it says that even though he didn't have sinus, the sinus doesn't make him a gadol. It doesn't make him an adult. Huh? It doesn't make him a brains either. You're right. But Pearl Mamish, you see, you're saying the whole thing is totally in sinus. But by 20-year-old, you see the Gemara says it's not totally in sinus. If he's 20 and he's a sadis, there's no yivmo or chalitza. That's what the Gemara says.
How is his bechir? Is a good bechir also?
So he's considered as a gadol. So l'chayr, if he's considered as a gadol even without the sidis, and he's a sadis and he cannot do yivmo chalitza, so he should be considered as a gadol benegeya to selling the property even without the sidis. Why are you saying? Why do they say we have to check if he has sidis?
Maybe he doesn't have the business copies, even though it's 20.
We don't care. 20, he can figure out if he's losing money or not. Says the Gemara, lav itma lav. The Gemara empty the Gemara, lav itma lav. Have we not learned benegay to this Mishnah? Rabbi Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak Amarav. Rabbi Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak had said in the name of Rav, who this Hirav the Mishnah that you don't need siders is shadil the bay simani sris, that he had simani sris and he was 20, then you don't need siders. But what's if he didn't have simani of a sris and he was 20 years old? So then we say without siders, he's not considered as an adult. He's still a baby, and he has to still grow up till he has siders. The only time that you say you don't look at the siders, if he had the simanim of a siris. If he had the simanim of a siris, and he's 20, that's all you need. You don't need the siders. But in the case where he doesn't have the simani siris, then the Gemara holds that if he doesn't bring sidus, he's still considered as a gadol till he grows up. Another said, Daikanami, I'll bring you a raya from the diuk of the lashna of the Mishnah Nida. It says the Ketani Behu Hasaris. It says Beferish. There, the reason why he didn't need sidus because he had already the semanim of being a saris. So therefore, it's a gadol. He's a saris, and because he's a saris, it's shaykh. That's why saris will not grow in because of the sirisus. That's one of the simanim of sirisus. But if he didn't have simani sirisus, then you would have to wait for saris to make him into a gadol. Shmami no, is that higher? In fact, when you're saying when he didn't have simani sadis, you have to wait till he has sidis in order to become a gadol. In fact, you want to kama until when? The rest of his life? You could say he could be a baby all his life without sidis. It says you want to turn ad till the most of his lifetime will pass. So what is it? How much is most of the lifetime?
56.
36. Actually, it's 36. How do you know? Because in Tilin, in Kapitel Tzadik, Pasuk Yud, it says, Yemei Shnei Seyim Bahem Shiv'im Shana, 70 years. So to be Rov of 70 years, so 35 would be half of 70 years. 36 is called Rov Shnei Seyim. So up to 36, then he's still considered as a cotton. Once 36 passes, so then it's Indian from Sris.
So if he sold the source before 36, is that?
If he sold before 36 and he didn't have Simone Sris, but he also didn't have Sinais, he's still a baby.
Is the Mechir was the Mechir?
No Mechira, right. So the Yemar, he asked Lakamei de Rabbi Chia, when they came before Rabbi Chia, this Nar, who didn't have Simone Gadlos, to be Mavar, so Rabbi Chia said, let's see the Gebot. See shine Gebot. The body is built right. So we're going to look at this man, how he's built. So Kochish, because he didn't bring Sidus, so he wanted to figure out what's why are this money Sidus not growing. So he says Kochish, if the guy was so skinny, he says, listen, Libri, wer ein bisschen fett, start gay essen ein bisschen herring mit fett, mit kartoshkes, till you get a little heavier, and then the money will come in. And if he has went not up to fat, so and there was no Sidus growing. So he said, go on a diet. Listen, you hold back from so much food. You don't need a ganze kartoshke, take a drittel. Yeah. You know, I have a friend, he went on all kinds of diets. One of the diets was that you eat one time a day and you eat as much as you can eat. He would come to the restaurant, he'd fill up a pile, and he would shovel in as much as he could, and that's it. That's the diet. That's the diet. But over here, he told them, listen, you're eating too much, slow down. And maybe this money will come in. That is money. Sometimes the sinus come faster because you're skinny. Sometimes the sinus come in faster because you're fatter. So each person is different. How do they say every stroke? No, every person with another stroke. I've had to go. Okay, every person is different. It's cut out different.
You know, they say you have 10 fingers.
Yeah.
You have 10 different shoulders.
Yeah, every finger is different. That's. Let's say you said the age is 18, right? Does it mean going into the year of 18 from 17 years and one day he's considered 18? Or is it still considered before 18 when he's 17 and one day? Or we say no, 17 and one day is considered as 18. Rabbi said in the name of Rav Nachman, if he's 17 and one day, it's still not 18, it's before 18. Rabbi Shela said in the name of Rav Nachman, if he's 17 in a day, he's 18. If he's 19 in a day, he's considered 20. This that Rabbi said, Zman is kilafnei hazman. He says he didn't learn it with Fedish. Only we learned it out from something that he didn't say befedish. We learned it out from, but it was a mistake really, from a story. It was a story with a Yiddish who was 17 in a day or 19 in a day, and he went and he sold the nichsei of the father. And he came before Rava, and he said, Rava, listen, I want to have charata, I was too young. So Rava said, how old were you? 17 in a day. Okay, it's nothing. He didn't ask him how old. He said, the sale is not a sale. Man the chaza. No, he didn't. So man the chaza, it says the one that saw what was happening, or whoever would see the story, Sava would think that Rabbi Paskins Mishum Teizman Kalifnei Azman. The reason why he said the sale wasn't a sale because he was too young. He was 17 in a day, and he wasn't 18. Maybe that's why Rabbi Paskin that way. Says Gemara, no, V'lai, that's not the reason why he Paskin that way. Hasam shtusa yiser so chazabei. The Rabbi had gesehen as Azaz Shaita. So he, beside the shtusim that he was, so he said the sale is not a sale. What did he do so shtusik? He went and he was meshachar the Eved. He feed them without any reason, without any justifiable reason. Eved Knani. And these are one of the things. There are 3 simanim that consider a person as a shaita. One of them is ma'abed as memainai. I don't know if he brings it down, but the Gemara will later on bring it down. What are the simanim? But this is a sin. He had the siman that says he sold the Eved without any without any justifiable reason. So he was just making money get lost. So therefore he was in the get of a shaitan. The sellers. That's why Rabbi said the mechir is ice. But taka, if he wasn't a shaitan, maybe if he would have been 17 in a day or 19 in a day, it would be a mechira if he wasn't a shaitan. The whole reason why he wasn't because he was a shaitan. Sholech like Gidu Bar Menashe leRava. Gidu Bar Menashe asked the child to Rava, the following child: Yilamdeinu Rabbeinu, Rava, teach us to noikes bas arba esay shon v'yemechad yudas hayadas betiv maso matan. Now, a 14-year-old, a young girl who was 14 years old in one day, but she knows business.
She's already 15 already.
So, yeah, okay, but she knows business. She's not 18, she's not 20. Okay, is her sale a sale or not? Shalach lei Rava answered to Gidu Bar Menashe. Im yodas betiv maso matan. If she knows business well, mekcha mikach mimkara mimkar. Whatever she bought is a buy. She sold is a sell because
She knows business.
you'll see. Wait, and we're going to have a story. You'll see. So it's the Gemara with Lishlich lei tinek. Why do you say about a girl that's 14 in a day? Why don't you give an example of a boy? Because you say any teenage that Yedas betiv masim, that's the normal lashon. Why did you give the story with a Tanaikas? Says he says that's how the story was.
It was a girl, is it?
It was a girl. Finish. What do you want us to do? Change the story around? That's the fact. In fact, you want to lishlach lei Tanaikas b'shtein masrei shana v'yemechad. Why do you have to pick the age 14 in a day? Why did you pick 12 in a day? That she's bas mitzvah. Says the Gemara again. Ma'isa shahaya kachaya was first. Now says you in the ma'isa.
She was 14 at the
She was 14 at the time. So the Gemara had Rava lab for the sheet of the This sheet of Rava again wasn't learned openly about what did Rava say over here. The last thing that if she knows business well, then it's a good sell. So the Gemara we learned it out from the Klala. What was the story? So Ahus, he went there Yosan Pachs me Essen. He was less than 20 years old. The Ozel, Zabin Nivseavu, the Kigil Bar Menashe. He went and he sold the nechasim of the father, like the Hira of Rava that he gave to Gil Bar Menashe. Because he was a boy that knew business well, so he went and sold it. Yeah, he was less than 20. Gidel Bar Menashe, Rava told Gidel Bar Menashe about the girl who was 14 in a day. If she knows business, well, it's a sale. So here, this boy did exactly like the Hira. He was less young boy, but he was a businessman. Also, the Kamei the Rava. The Yosin came before Rava to ask if he could back out because he's too young. So the Kreva said, "Let me give you advice. Let's get back to the Chosim. Let me tell you what the Kreva, his family members, told him. Let me give you advice. Zil echel tamne, go and eat some dates. Ujdei be kashyase be Rava, and spit out the pits in front of Rava's house. So see that you're acting like I'm a sugar. Shake that baby. Oh, you're acting like a baby. Avadach, he went ahead and you know when dates by Rava Shtub, only eating fresh dates. Then he started to spit out. Then you spin the pits in front of Rava's house. So Rava said, yeah. Zavin loves me. Psa Ingo. His sale is not a sale. He's not shy. When they were writing the shtar for the psak, that we have to give back to the chasim. So now the lekuchis wanted to get back this cotton because he did a shtickis. Because the lekuchis really was a real sale because he's a smart kid. So the lekuchis went and told him, listen, Zil emalei Rava, go and tell Rava that he's ripping you off because Megillah Esther bizuzah. For somebody to write a Megillah, it takes a long time. The Megillah Esther. So I lying in Megillah with some elef prakim, and you have to write. And they charge a zuz. Shtorah the mar bezuzah. Tell him what's that chutzpah? Dein psak was hat a par werte. You're also charging a zuzah. Go tell him he's ripping you off. Don't let him. Go buy it. Rav is charging too much. Too much. What's it? Half a zuz, a quarter of a zuz. It's not even. I'm garnished because Megillah, I got some Megillah. A psak schreibt nevein papier. So the English guy says, Rav, what's this? Yeah, why are you charging me so much money for the psak? If I wanted to go and write a Megillah, which is so much harder, you would have did this one zuz. You're writing one piece of paper. So you're charging me a zuz. Oh, Amalud. Rav says, it's like Klugenke. I see. You know what's going on. Zavina is vina. No, the sale is a sale. No stuff. No psak for you. The sale is a sale. Amalahu is that? Yeah, the Kochis did a job on it. Amalahu. So the Kraven came running back. Amalahu. He saw Amalahu Kraven. The Kraven came running back and saying, "No, the Kochis Hagmeru. He's only a papaki. He's only saying over what the Kochis told him to say. He didn't know. He doesn't know the halacha." Amalahu. No. Masber Saba. They explained them well. That's verstanden. He came and explained me how I am ripping him off. Even the Masber Saba, since they lawyered him up and explained him how he's being ripped off, and he said it so well. Yeah, he started to run. He says, "Maybe Yada, this boy knows business. If he can understand how to bargain with me." And this that he went spitting out pits in front of me. Chutzpah, you say to have a baby. I'm a chutzpah. He wanted to play little games as a chutzpah yakir. Okay, Zag Yimada, he lost out. But the Kochis put him up to it. But they were right. They knew he's a smart boy, and they tricked him. Rav Huna, the son of Yeshua, said, when it comes to a minor, even if he's not 20 or 18, he could testify. He could say Edus. You can only say Edus by metaltlin, because with metaltlin, he knows how to make money with metaltlin, like we say, selling candies and and we can't have him say, look, we can't accept minors for Edus. What's the reason why by metaltlin you're going to accept ktanim? Because the zvina is zvina, because you're tailored, because they understand us how to sell by metaltlin and by kaka not. In fact, the Gemara Elameata only now hadit nan hapautais. Pautais are 6-7-year-olds. Mekham mikach umemkarim mimka b'metaltlin. Even 6-7-year-olds, they're able to sell, and they understand they're making a profit. You can say, even the 6-7-year-olds can say Edus. We know that's for sure that's not possible. Amalei, so Mazuta answered back to Rashi. Hasam be'ina be'omdu shnei ha'anoshim lifnei hakanim ha'sheftim. When it comes to Edus, the Torah says it has to be ish. So mitzad Edus, you're right. They understand metalton officially. They should understand. They should be able to say Edus. But we have the Torah zok as far Edus that not ish, and 6-7-year-olds are not men. The Leica, the babies, they're not. But once they're 13-year-olds and they're ish, so in the get of ish, only by metaltlin verstehen sie zu sagen Edus, aber by kaka nicht, but by kaka not. Ameba said matnosei matona. If Yasin gives away a matana, It's a good matana. Amalei Abash Lamema Hashto Masvin the Mekabel Zuzei. Amrit L'Deloi. If when the Yosim sells karka, right, and he gets money in exchange, you say it's not a sale because maybe he's going to sell it for too cheap and they're going to lose money. Kol shekain matana deloi matalei v'lei midi. For sure, if he give away matana, it should not be a matana because he's trying to give away money and not understand what he's giving away. Says the Gemara lo taimech. According to your reasoning, if a cotton sells something that's worth 5 for 6, he made a profit. You can say the sale is a sale because he made a profit. It's totally in profits. You see, it's not totally in the profits. The Chacham weren't nechalek because sometimes there'll be a loss. The Rabbanan established the Yenuka Mekava Daita Gabizuzi. A teenage, a young boy, understands money, right? He loves money. If you're going to say the mechira is a good mechira, at times, many times, a guy will start making a lot of noise with money. You want? Sell me this car, he's going to make noise with a lot of money. And he's going to go and sell the whole nechasma of his father for this big noise of the pushka sounding the sound of a lot of money. If that won't happen, even a little baby, a little child, if the yasim doesn't get anything from the guy who's getting the matana, he would never give the matana. So therefore, because the matana will be a matana in order that people should do nice things for the assignment. They'll go out of their ways to do nice things for the assignment. The assignment should be allowed to reciprocate matanas.